The Mail and Guardian spoke to business students ahead of Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan's second budget speech for their take on the country's finances.
More than anything, I think with regards to the budget, they have to focus on education because education is the most imperative thing in the South African community right now. I think our standards have gone down and they need to come up with solutions.
Well, I expect to hear a lot about employment creation and it's all issues regarding to unemployment and employment opportunities.
I'm really hoping that he touches a lot on how they're going to allocate the fees for bursaries, the whole bursary programs that they have that the President spoke about in his State of the Union address. Nation address rather.
I expect Pravin Gordhan to address issues such as inflation, unemployment and the budget deficit. However, I would like him to address government funding of education and healthcare and job creation, how to stimulate job creation, because this has been an issue in past years and they haven't achieved effective results on this yet.
Expect to hear a lot about import taxes and how he'll expect to work on that. I mean, import and export is a very big market and industry for us to develop as a country, but apart from that, everyone will say social grants. So I suppose we need to make provision for inflation in the social grants, especially because of rising food prices and the standard of living in our country.
Unfortunately, I don't expect much different from what we've heard in the years before. It's always surrounding the main problems in South Africa: unemployment, poverty. However, my main concern is what's happened in previous years. I'd like an elaboration or more reasoning and showing what they've done in the past. They focus a lot on development, yet I see more and more shacks and so forth coming up all the time. So I'd just like to see where all that development in housing, poverty, education, I'd like to see that. I think if they started off the budget with a recap, it would make people a little bit more settled.
I want to know what's happening with the tolls, the new tolls that are going up, and exactly where all that profit is going to go, And that's about it. And what they're going to do about education as well.
I'd also like to hear a lot about the tolling system on the highways, as well as creating jobs for graduates.
I want him to start speaking about ways in which he can develop the community, focus the budget on initiatives which will uplift the community in terms of social development.
I just would really like to know if actually they're going to make this program work, where they actually, about the FET programs, where the schools are getting with the whole NEFSIS loans, and how actually they're going to make that work with regards to how exactly they can make it free, and where those funds would be coming from, and which department's going to suffer.
The most important thing for me is how provisions we made for education. I'm really one of those ambassadors for improving education in our country. So I'd really love to hear, how much is budgeted for education in terms of improving it.